you got to get out of that bed, you got to put your shoes on, and you got to stand in front of that mirror and say you're worth it every single day. Because nobody's going to do that for you. No one. Not me, not you, Chris, not anybody else, no family member. You have to want it bad enough inside of you to move forward.
This conversation with Stephanie Rose is one of the most honest that I've ever had on this podcast. She doesn't sugarcoat it, but she does give hope.
I had my daughter at Disneyland and she wanted to run around the park and I couldn't do it. And I thought, if I beat cancer and I can't run around this park with my kid, I gotta make some changes.
Surviving isn't the same as truly living. Stephanie wanted more than just being alive. She wanted to show up for her daughter.
Transformation's ugly, it's hard work, but I can help these people.
Ladies and gents, this is Stephanie Rose. Steph and I go way back. We worked side by side as fitness trainers in San Jose, and just want to welcome you, Steph, to the show.
Hey, bud.
Let's talk about it. So you know that for 20 years I focused on core, helping people get rid of their back pain, and just like within the last couple months, I've added to that and really more deliberately coaching people with fat loss.
Good.
And you are the queen of this. You went through it yourself.
Yep.
You showed us that picture that you had a huge blow up in the gym, and you showed us, and I didn't even know that was you.
Yeah.
And you've been a trainer for many years. So let's first just start off, just quick introduction, who you are, how you got started on this.
Yeah. So Stephanie, it's obviously my name. I got started almost 20 years ago now in personal training, and but the journey started because of my own. I was overweight, for a long time. I'll backtrack. I had cancer and went through all of that, and because of having the hysterectomy and all that stuff, I gained 85 pounds. So I was really, really heavy for 5 years. But growing up, I was never that thin girl. I was just, kind of on the thicker side, if you will. But then after cancer, gained all that weight, and I had a 5-year-old daughter I could not run with. So actually she was 5 when I got cancer and 10 when I decided I got to make some changes. So anyway, that's kind of the backstory, but I've been a trainer in the area for almost 20 years, Willow Glen with you, and just a couple of other gyms in the interim, but I was in Willow Glen for the longest time. Now on a place on Hamilton, our gym shut down, Chris. It's a dance studio now. Yeah. Oh. So I know I'm over on Hamilton Road at this really awesome little gym that's just, you'd love it. Anyway, so now what?
Okay. So 20 plus years ago, what did you say, 85 pounds?
85 pounds. Yeah. When I was 33, I made the decision to turn my life around. I'll be 58 next month.
So what was the one day to the next? You didn't change weight, but something clicked. What was that rock bottom moment? And you just said, I am done. And from then to now, it has just been that commitment.
Rocket ship. So I had my daughter at Disneyland and she wanted to run around the park and I couldn't do it. And I thought, I beat cancer and I can't run around this park with my kid. I got to make some changes. No idea where to start. I mean, I had done every dietary theory known to man in my, earlier years of life, just trying to kind of lose those 10 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever, and always back and forth like this pendulum, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to cut everything I'm eating in half. And I knew that it had to start there and I needed to start moving. So I will tell you that just simple walking was the only thing that I knew to do. I was not a personal trainer, obviously, back then. So cutting all my food in half, I would put the normal amount of food on my plate and look at it and literally put half of it back, on the stove. Or if I went out to eat, same thing. I also stopped fast food and going out to eat. Huge. I wasn't a big soda drinker or anything, but that was kind of where it started. I was like, oh my gosh, things are starting to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very simple adjustment. It's crazy what you can achieve when your body's going, oh, thank you. It's
Right.
thanking you for taking out the poison and putting in a little progress, right? So then fast forward, I owned a business that, unbeknownst to me that it was going to happen, there was a gym in the back. So yeah, it was pretty cool. The big tanning salon that we had a gym in the back, and I two trainers, actually Sal DiStefano from Mind Pump and my ex-brother-in-law, came and asked me if they could rent the space for me or work for me or whatever. Well, they were the ones that got me interested in personal training.
Perfect.
So taught me how to lift, got me kind of like, oh, this is fun. I like this, feeling powerful and strong. And so that's kind of where it started. And I had a base of clientele in my tanning salon. So as I started falling in love with personal training and the weight kept coming off super slow, I had like this magical clientele that was watching me transform. And then, Stephanie, what are you doing? What's happening? And that's where I was like, I can change lives. I can change lives, and I can show them, because I've been where they are,
Yeah.
that it's not easy. Transformation's ugly. It's hard work, but I can help these people. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where it started.
That's pretty incredible though, that it started with just like you didn't know what to do, but you went forward
Oh,
anyway, which I
oh
think is
yeah.
really powerful. And you did three things. You stopped eating as much fast food, you cut your portions in half, and you started walking.
I
That's
started
it.
walking.
And I think that's a great baseline. Just to reiterate, because that is very powerful what you said. Some people that will give them massive amounts of progress, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Day one, and then all the technical details that you know now. I know you've gone back for advanced certifications in
Yeah,
nutrition, and you've taken that staircase all the way up. So now you can manipulate small variables. But for everyone watching out there who is on step one, that's step one, right?
that's step one. Yeah, waking up every day and realizing it's a new day for me to do better. That
Mm,
was also, I knew every day I had a fresh start to do better. And I will tell you, Chris, you know me, mind, body, spirit is how I kind of work. The outside of the body falls into place like frosting on a cake. But
yeah,
if you don't work on the inside first and figure out, where did this come from? Why was I eating like this? What was the emotional eating? What was I trying to control? Well, food's one thing we can control. So my whole life I tried to control food, and actually food was controlling me.
mm,
So once I realized flipping that switch and I could actually control what was going in my mouth, it was liberating.
wow, yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
And it's I think there's a misnomer. People who are on the other side of that, maybe they're overweight or like where you were or where I've been as well. And you almost feel like once you get healthy, it's more things to think about, more things to stress over, but it's the exact opposite. It's
100%.
food is not a shackle anymore. Food is liberating. Food is something that nourishes your body, that helps fuel your workouts
Yes.
and allows you to live this big life.
Yeah, and you can enjoy it without, it should not be a fear factor. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have some rice. Oh God, it's a bad carb. You know what? Listen to me. This is the one thing that's the most difficult, especially in my generation, probably a little bit of yours as well. Carbs were the enemy. I mean, in the 80s, it was fat free, don't
Right.
eat lettuce, and that's not how you fuel your body. That's not how the body wants to, the body will respond to you when you fuel it like a NASCAR. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
enjoy your food. There's a lot of mental behind that too. You have to enjoy what you're eating, not shove spinach in your mouth if you can't stand spinach. Do you know what I say? And rice
100%.
is not your enemy.
Right.
So
Right. No, you're right. When, growing up, 80s, early 90s was like
yeah,
fat was the enemy, and now it's morphed into carbs are the enemy.
yeah.
And so these are like nutrition lies. What are some of the other big lies that you feel really hold people back? Like what have you seen in the last, let's say, week? A client says something and you're like, "What? That's not right."
I had a client the other day say, I really wanted a banana, and I didn't have it. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Why?
Okay, let me just, and this is what I told her right out of the gate. I said, listen, the body is a funny machine.
Yeah.
It's intuitively wanting something. A banana, your body intuitively wanted some potassium, a little bit of natural sugar. There was something there why your body wanted a banana. And why are we talking about a banana? We're not talking about a big pizza from Round Table. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's those things. I wanted a banana, or I'm afraid of garbanzo beans. These are things that they'll come at me with in the morning. And is it okay if I have that? And I'm just eating broccoli and chicken. Well, why? And
Mhm.
these are also the people that don't want to release their nutrition to me. And like I tell them, you can write me years of checks if you want to, but until you decide that you want some guidance in your nutrition, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yes.
So
Meaning like track everything and show me what you did. That
show me
type.
what you're doing so we
Yeah.
have a baseline. So I'm not going to grade you an F like a teacher. I'm
Yeah.
going to flip it around and show you how we can change how you're eating and implement things that are super good for your body, fuel your
Yes.
body.
Okay, so if we have this pile of things, for example, oh, it's okay to eat a banana, or like garbanzo beans, or the devil or whatever. All these things that people have heard about, or like you need to go on zero carb or whatever it is. What's on the other side of that? What are the three things or the five things that if somebody remembers these things and they can plug in whatever food into that system that they want, what are the handful of things that are actually important?
Okay, so first thing I teach people, if it doesn't walk, swim, or grow, don't eat it. It's so simple, it's complicated for most, right?
Right.
Because most refrigerators, people want to open their refrigerator and have something to eat right now.
Right.
If you have a refrigerator that you have to go and it's an ingredient refrigerator, you're looking at a more healthful way of eating right out of the gate. So no, try and eliminate or really minimalize processed foods. And it's surprising, Chris, how many people go, that's so hard, Steph. How in the world am I supposed to, so if it doesn't walk, swim, or grow, you mean I can't have? I'm like, tell me what you can't have. It's just the
All of
stuff in
them.
the center of the grocery store that's
Yep.
in a box that's made for you,
Yep.
right? It's so liberating to know I can season whatever I want that's in that refrigerator and make it taste however I want to
Yep.
with those ingredients. So that's the most important thing that I try and teach people. And also, Chris, but it's a very bio-individual. Life is very bio-individual. I'm not going to put 20 clients on the same diet. By the way, I don't believe in diets.
Right.
That's I'm going to ask them what is it that makes them, what food do they love? What food do they not like? Is it bothering them? What sensitivities do they have? Let's get deeper into this,
Yeah.
because it's not just, oh, you can have chicken and broccoli or you can have fish and vegetables. Let's get more creative here,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. I
know?
think that's great. I think the concept of using yourself as your own science experiment, you have these principles that work, and then seeing how it works for you. So for me personally, I do 4 eggs with a little bit of cheese on top every morning, almost every morning. It fills me up, it gets me going. I started putting protein powder in my coffee, and all my clients are like, that seems a little weird. I'm like, hey, if it's not
It
for you,
works for you.
it works for me. I love mocha. And so I get some chocolate protein powder mixed with my,
Yeah.
oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
And it might not work for you. Other strategy, like Trader Joe's has this really cool, it's called Just Chicken.
Oh, yeah.
You do that?
Oh, girl, dude. It,
Oh
I
my.
tell my clients about that when they're like, oh, I don't want to cook. It's just chicken with salt and
It's just
pepper.
chicken, salt, and pepper, and a little, like, I think they put olive oil, something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a pound of chicken, and you just sit there and just like eat the
Yeah.
chicken. Oh, it's
Yeah.
such an easy way to get 100 grams of protein right there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It's amazing. Amazing. I'll tell you because again, intuitive eating, right? Each
Yeah.
season has different fruits, different vegetables, different everything, right?
Yeah.
And in the summer, generally people want cold foods or crunchy foods. It's texture, right? Instead of in the winter, it's more cozy,
Yeah.
kind of what's comfort foods, right?
Bone
Well,
broth and
yes,
yeah.
right. So right now, I'm doing this yogurt with a scoop of vanilla protein powder, walnuts, flaxseed, hemp seed, mixing all this up in the bowl. It's almost like having a bowl of vanilla ice cream for breakfast in
That
the morning.
sounds so good. That's so good.
And then 2 scoops of collagen in my coffee. I'm
Yeah.
getting 44 grams or whatever of protein
Yeah.
in that little bunch of yumminess in my bowl and good fats. I also put walnuts in it.
Yeah.
So, and I cannot stress enough good fats in the body.
Yeah.
I cannot stress good fats enough,
Yeah.
you know.
So good. From
And,
those
you know,
omega 3s. Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of people think flaxseed, hemp seed, chia that they have. I do not count that as a fat when my clients when I'm giving them macros. I just don't.
Hmm.
It's a kind of fat that I want it measured. Obviously, you can't eat a half a bag of chia seeds or, I mean, you know, any of it and not think that something not so great will happen. But
Right.
I don't put those in their macros because it's a necessary fat for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you mentioned tracking. So how are you a proponent of tracking everything that you eat and just using
No,
it, or do you track for a limited time and then copy and paste those meals over the days and weeks ahead, or
for me personally
either
or
you
for
personally
clients.
or for clients? Everyone's a little different.
Everyone's different, right? So I have some people that the food noise is so loud for them in the very beginning of when we start training and they finally are releasing their nutrition to me. I have them journal what they've eaten for like 5 to 7 days. And I do some adjusting. I tweak and portion. That's what I do. I don't even use the word, I never use the word calorie.
Yeah.
I do use the word macros because I feel like it's more powerful.
Yeah.
The results that I've experienced with people and myself is a more powerful. Caloric, trying to keep track of calories makes people overthink, you know, of like, oh, I'm having this calorie here. Oh my, I'm only supposed to have this many calories. Now, some people want that. Some people, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just not something that I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And it may
So
not work for everybody. Some people are more habits based, like, all right, let's create one new habit and then let's create another habit.
yeah.
But it really does depend on the individual.
It so does, man. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's the other thing. When I went to Institute of Integrative Nutrition and learned so much more about um, bio-individual, you know, eating, intuitive eating, and realizing one person's food is another person's poison, whether
Mhm.
it's how they makes their body feel or them thinking in their brain, oh, this is awful, right?
Yeah.
We need to remember that as the coaches for their what's going in their mouth and helping them realize that that could be poison for them, whatever that looks like,
Yeah.
right? So lots of good lessons in that for me.
Yeah. Either actual poison, like it's maybe a food allergy, or just like some mental
A
chatter around
mental
it.
challenge.
Like,
Yeah, no, no, right.
yeah, like you're not going to have that client eat like 10 bananas a day when they
Right.
think bananas are maybe not the best food. It's like, well, all right, maybe every now and then, but you
Uh,
don't have to put it in your
yes,
staple diet.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I mean. It's not poison like it's going to kill them, but it's
Yeah.
poison in their brain. Or it's
Yeah.
funny when people remember things in their past when they're kids and things that their parents made them eat, that's like a poison in their brain. Like, oh, I don't
Yeah,
want this,
right.
or that's, you know, and this is why. It's like, okay, that's fine. I'm not here to push X, Y, and Z on you. Let's figure out what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Were there any lies that you told yourself, like kind of like that, like foods that you thought were like poison or bad or they're gonna get me or and
100%.
yeah, how has that
Yes.
shifted?
Up until about 10 years ago.
Okay.
100%. I wouldn't eat rice. I wouldn't eat butter. Pasta was an absolute no. Um, Anything that looked to me like what I thought had brought on the weight for me when
Yeah.
I was younger, right? Um, I was a huge, well, I still am, you know me and tortilla chips, I'm not gonna lie, it's still a thing. So we all have our vice. So, but yes, all those type of white foods,
Yeah.
white potatoes, all of that. I was like, oh no, you can't have that. I even told my clients that up until about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely don't do this. Absolutely don't do that. Everything that's white turned to brown. So wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes,
Do you
100%. I do not say that now.
do you
Things need to be in
think
moderation. And there
yeah,
are certain things that you need to kind of be a flex food. I don't use the word cheat food, cheat meal. I
I like
use
that
flex.
flex food. Yeah.
Yeah, we flex because we can.
Nice. We
Yeah.
flex because we can. Do you think there's value in the way that you did it? Maybe you avoided certain foods for a long period of time and now you've reintroduced them more in like a maintenance phase? Or do you think it's more valuable to just gradually come into that weight loss and that health with some moderation?
For me personally, that's a good question. I think for me personally, there was value to that because, again, mind, body, spirit. I had to heal the child inside of me that was ruled by food and certain kinds of food. So I personally had to, I thought I did, take out certain foods so that my body would respond appropriately. And as my body was responding appropriately, I continued to honor that restriction. Now,
Got it.
as I matured in my career and as I matured in guiding clients, it was like, oh, okay, it doesn't have to be this rigid. I don't have to be this,
Yeah,
strict in what I'm doing personally. Look at what I'm doing for my clients. I'm allowed to do this for myself, right?
makes
So
sense.
yes, for me personally, I feel like I needed to do that, but with the knowledge I have now, I would have done things a lot different.
Got it.
I didn't know where, I had nowhere to start. I had no education for myself in the very beginning when I
Yeah.
first began my journey. Um, and I was not, I did nutrition from the ACE book, and you don't learn anything. It's
Yeah.
all trial and error. So I was like, something's got to change. I
Yeah.
need to go learn something.
Let me get
So,
into the details here.
yeah.
Yeah. Where did those 85 pounds, was it pretty much a straight, steady line, or did you stall out? Did you like hit a fast loss and then kind of plateau and then
Yeah. So it's a great question. So it took me about 18 months to lose the 85 pounds. And I lost it pretty steady. I had a couple moments where I plateaued. What really rocket shipped my continued fat loss was when I started picked up a weight.
get that muscle?
Dude, the minute I started lifting weights, it was a game changer. And that's when I got addicted to weights as well. I
Yeah.
love that word. People don't, but
Addicted
you
to
know,
weight. Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's my Achilles heel. I love to lift.
Yeah, there are much, much worse things to be addicted to. So you've been lifting for 20 years then, almost 20
Hmm.
years,
Hmm.
and you don't look like you have like 40-inch arms or anything like that.
No, no,
Tone.
yeah.
So that's one thing. I think that perception is largely going away, but I'm sure there's some people who still have it. Women who like, I don't want to be huge. I don't want a big neck. I don't.
Oh, man, yeah.
It's not going to happen. You're not going to get huge.
No,
Um,
it's not going to
so
happen.
so that's a good thing to remember. Muscle. Actually, okay. So this is actually a good segue into the next question. Okay,
Okay.
we have all this conflicting nutrition and diet advice out there. If somebody just, let's say, goes on YouTube and just searches how to lose 20 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have like, I don't, okay, you have calories in, calories out. You have low carb. You have um, control your insulin. You have uh, stop eating allergic, eggs and different inflammatory foods. You have uh, the fruitarians, the vegetarians, the blah, blah, blah. And it's interesting because when you learn a lot more about nutrition and about healthy eating, you can see a little grain of truth in each. So pick your top two or three that seem to be at odds with each other and tell us how they actually might be able to work together.
So I'm big on minimalizing excessive gluten and sugar.
Okay.
So that is one of the things that I let people know. Gluten, a lot of people do have celiac, and a lot of people have sensitivity. However, from what I've seen in my career and myself, gluten can be a inflammatory food. You know what I'm saying? It can cause inflammation.
Yes.
So, and sugar, bar none, is one of the worst things I believe that we can put in our bodies. Unless, obviously, I'm not talking about fruits and,
Right.
natural things like that. So, is that what you're asking me? I believe that those are the
Yep.
two, for me personally, when I'm sitting down with people and we're beginning nutrition, those are the things that, there's times where you'll do an elimination diet, quote unquote.
Yep.
or an elimination process to find out what it is that's bothering either someone's stomach, or they're inflamed, or they're retaining fluid, or they can't go to the bathroom. There's so many different things that we have to cover, right? Not just, okay, here's your 7-day food that you have to eat. We have to know how it affects them.
Right.
And then, you know, we'll circle back, because sleep is the first thing that we have to talk about when someone sits in front of me for an assessment. First thing I talk about is sleep. So in that, too much sugar, too much gluten is going to disrupt your sleep, because it's going to, you know, sugar can wake you up. It can make your tummy upset. It can do all different, and that includes alcohol if you're doing too much alcohol.
Yeah.
So that if that's what you're asking me, those are my two,
Okay.
sugar and gluten. And again, trust me, I have some really good sourdough bread. I am not afraid of having gluten here and there. It's not something that I have eliminated from me. I don't have celiac.
Right.
But I do use that as a flex if
Yep.
I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and sugar, I don't like it because it makes me feel yucky inside. So
Yeah.
I just don't have, you know, sugary things. And believe it or not, the body rewards you in making you not feel great when you're eating stuff that's not so great. It says, no, I don't really like that. So that's why your tummy feels weird, right?
Exactly. I think that's a great place to get to as a long-term goal for somebody who wants to lose weight, get healthy, get to the point where you don't even want the sugar anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And I think that's the problem is there's this big downward spiral with you eat a Snickers bar and you don't even feel how bad it is. You don't even feel how bloated you feel. You don't even you know, you're not seeing as many of the negative side effects because you're a little bit separated from it. Whereas when you start tuning in, paying attention, you
Right.
start seeing like, you know, I could have a bite of a Snickers bar, probably won't taste as good as it used to
Yeah.
because it's all fake chocolate even.
Right.
And you can make it taste so much better.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else I put in that mocha? Oh, this is so good.
What?
This is the benefit again, San Francisco got all the great little shops. So in the Mission, there's a chocolate shop and it's
Oh,
got little 100% chocolate, no sugar, no nothing added. It's super bitter, but it's creamy. I'll throw that in the coffee, shake it up. So I
ooh.
use the Costco whey protein that's chocolate flavored. I got a little bit of chocolate and the coffee, and boom. But
You've
again,
got your healthy mocha.
it's like my healthy mocha that I love. It's a
Yeah.
great way to start the day. Um, but again, if that is not something that somebody wants to do, there's a lot of flex involved in that. So
But again, that's an individual thing. It
very
doesn't affect you the way that it may affect your client or my client, right? But they
100%.
could get to that point where I'm going to have Chris's mocha because my stomach doesn't hurt. I'm now at the point where I'm not overthinking food, and that's their flex for the day,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But if you think about what you're doing, you've got protein in there, and cacao is not bad for you.
Nope.
The polyphenols, the great stuff that's in cacao and dark chocolate is, and I'm not saying go out and eat
Right, right, right. A
chocolate
whole
thing.
bunch of it.
Yeah, everything in moderation. And that's
Yeah.
such a cliche thing to say, but
It's
it's
so
like
true.
the genesis, the beginning of your walk with nutrition.
I agree. I agree. So if you could go back, let's say 25 years and talk to yourself for 30 seconds, what would
Oh
you say?
God, that's a good one. What would I say? I would say you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. There's so many other things I could say to that woman. To be honest with you, be gentle on yourself. We're so hard on ourselves. At least I was. Um, and I will say this: talk better to yourself, Stephanie. When you look in the mirror, talk better to yourself. Because there's so many times that I was beating myself up and saying mean, ugly things to myself. And the woman that I am now, I wish that I'd been kinder to myself then. It's kind of a huge, huge thing. It's like talking to your 5-year-old self. That's one of when I life coach, I'll oftentimes have my clients write their 5-year-old self a letter And you want to talk about a powerful um, tool for healing. It's pretty amazing when they'll write it, and I have them put it in an envelope and take it out and read it during certain times, and usually the first time they read it, they can't get through the whole thing. And it's super powerful, the healing that goes behind that, because they're talking to this little child that has now turned into an adult, and a lot of the times the letter is asking for forgiveness. So it's huge.
Wow.
So
That is huge.
yeah.
So now fast forward again 25 years, what does maintenance look like for you now? I put maintenance in quotes because I know you're not just in maintenance, you're always trying to grow, always trying to get stronger.
Yeah.
But what does it look like for you now on the other side of that weight loss challenge?
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's kind of liberating to know that I'm not as obsessive as I used to be. Again, I am older now. I've had a few injuries and things that have gone on in the past year. So, believe it or not, I've had to scale it back. That's a humbling experience for me because, Chris, you know how hard I go.
Mm-hmm.
Very humbling. But stepping into that space and realizing it's okay to be here because I can continue. As soon as I'm better, I'll never stop.
Yeah.
And as soon as I'm better, I'll be better, do better, right? So I'm still walking every day, at least 2 miles. I don't do this whole let me get 10,000 steps in. It's such a hard marker for a lot of people and to put on yourself. I do what I can. Some days I excel and do way over 10,000 steps.
Right, right.
I'm not wearing my Apple Watch every single day anymore because I don't want to be a prisoner to anything. I know what my body feels like when I'm moving. I still lift 4 to 5 days a week. Not as heavy as I used to, but that's okay. I'm having a procedure on my neck done in August, and I just told my husband the other day, I said, I have a new goal. As soon as this neck is completely healed, they say 6 to 8 weeks, I'm giving myself 18 months to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. You can always have a goal, whatever that looks like for you.
Yep.
You can always have a goal. So my maintenance story now is a lot more humbling than it used to be, because you know me, I'm still a beast to my clients.
Right.
But again, my clients are aging with me. They're all aging as well. So
Right.
obviously we adjust and adapt as we need to. However, the muscle is where the longevity is. So I'll never stop lifting.
100%. The muscle is, I heard somebody call it the organ of longevity.
It is.
It's so important, right?
It is.
And it builds the bone density. And so you're less likely to take a spill. And if you do take a spill, your bones are strong.
Exactly. And you'll recover quicker.
Yeah.
The stronger your foundation is, no matter where or what is going on, you're going to recover quicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter whatever in your life that if you fall when you're 50, I'm 58. When you fall when you're 70 or 80, you'll be able to get up off the floor.
Boom.
And yes. And that's also the stuff that needs to be done is as we're training clients, doing those functional movements.
Yep.
So they can get up off the floor.
Get
they're
up,
90
get
years
down.
old.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And you hear stories of, power lifters who get in a car accident and they have, real strong, thick necks and they're totally fine. And then other people have very little muscle mass and they get, whipped around and they got whiplash and all this stuff. And just building that resilience. Absolutely. One rep at a time.
And never stopping. Yeah. Lace up. Remember my tagline?
Lace up. I don't remember. Lace up or shut up or something like
No.
that.
That might have been back in the day.
Lace up or shut up.
Show up. Yeah, exactly. Lace up and show up. And I got you from there. It's
Nice.
Put your shoes on. If you walk out your door after you put your tennis shoes on, I don't care if you walk 5 minutes out, you got to walk 5 minutes back.
Yeah.
So
that is huge. I did that and it takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders too.
Yes.
I did that for 18 months and I told myself that I bought a fancy gym membership. It was a couple $100 and no personal trainer or anything. It was just a nice fancy gym. And I said, I'll continue to pay for this if I come every single day. And there were days I was hungover, exhausted, sore. I'm like, I just have to walk in the door, right? And I'd walk in the door, go in the sauna, and leave. It's I'm glad you mentioned that because it's such a
Mhm.
powerful thing. It's like not every day has to be perfect. Just take one
Nope.
baby step forward. Just show up, put on your shoes, go outside,
Yeah.
and you've won right
You've
then.
won. Literally. If you
Yeah,
5 minutes out that door, you have to walk back 5 minutes, right?
yeah. It's a 10-minute walk
So
right there.
baby steps are better than no steps. It's huge.
Yep.
Huge. And sometimes, you know this, clients can walk in the door and all they need is some talk therapy. But as we're talking, we're going to go for a walk,
Yep.
right? There's something to that.
Yep.
Just yes, just show up for yourself. You don't have to show up at a gym. You don't have to show up wherever. Just show up for yourself.
Exactly. Show up for yourself. I think
Yeah.
that's a great summary. That's a great conclusion. What do you tell somebody else who is watching this and is on their day one? What do you tell that person? And then finish off after that with how people can get a hold of you if they're interested in learning more.
Yeah. So you're going to be okay. You got to get out of that bed. You got to put your shoes on and you got to stand in front of that mirror and say you're worth it every single day. Because nobody's going to do that for you. No one. Not me, not you, Chris, not anybody else. No family member. You have to want it bad enough inside of you to move forward. So, and stephanierose.com. My name's spelled different. STEPHENIE Rose.com is how you can get a hold of me.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Steph. I appreciate you coming in again
Yes.
for this podcast. It's always fun.
Yes.
And thanks everybody for watching. Go check out Stephanie's website.
Take care.